2-point loss a year ago. Brian Silverfield's team returning a lot of talent, but he knows the Dogs will be eager for atonement tonight here at Davis-Wade Stadium. Hi again, everybody. Clay Matthews alongside my partner, Rocky Boyman. Don Davenport joins us in a bit. Great to be back in the saddle with you, my friend. Well, the Mississippi State Bulldogs returned 16 starters. This is a team that was 7-6 last year. The highs were very high, the lows pretty low. They're looking for more consistency.
Absolutely. I mean, last year, this is a team that won some games they probably shouldn't have, A&M, Auburn, but then also lost some games they shouldn't have, like Memphis last season. You mentioned their experience, one of the more experienced teams in the entire SEC. A lot of guys with 2+ years of experience. That helps with consistency, but that's the key for them, and it all starts here tonight.
Could see a lot of points tonight. A great week 1 quarterback matchup. Two very young quarterbacks, but they are record setters.
Absolutely. Two of them, both guys that dads were high school coaches, so they come from that tree, that lineage. But for Seth Hennigan last year, started as a true freshman. Exceptional player, high football IQ. Had about 3,400 yards in that young season for him last year. They can absolutely sling it out there for the Memphis Tigers. And then on the other side, Will Rogers, a guy who also grew up in an air raid system, close to 3,800 yards last year, and then just the consummate leader, the guy who's been a leader from a very young age on this Mississippi State football team, looking to light it up here tonight.
Hot, humid night, no surprise. Also no surprise that it's very loud here in Starkville tonight. Don Davenport's going to be on the sidelines contending with that noise. Don.
Yeah, Rocky, Clay, I don't know if the answer is more cowbell, because I can barely hear myself at times already down here. But Memphis is ready to hear a lot of this. All practice long, they pump cowbell noise into their practices. They had their strength coach right at the line of scrimmage in their guys' faces with a speaker so that they would be ready for this atmosphere. Center Jacob Likes told me, hey, listen, I'm hearing cowbells in my sleep now. Now, Memphis did adjust some of their cadences so that they can better handle this environment. And Seth Hennigan told me that, hey, I'm so close with my center that I feel like we know what each other's thinking. That's going to help us to adjust and play fast. And guys, you know, tempo going to be key if Memphis is going to have some success tonight.
Well, Memphis tried to avoid talking too much about last year's win, but that was big for the program. They recruit Mississippi hard. Can they do it again? It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, that was kind of a quirky game last year. Had a controversial call. Mississippi State had a chance early in that game to just put them away. Memphis had a big 4th down stop and kind of gained the momentum back and came down to an electrifying finish.
The veteran Austin Williams, as Mississippi State has won the toss. They have elected to receive in front of this hostile crowd. Davis-Wade Stadium, and its 108th year. And again, 7-6 last year. They feel like this is a team that can accomplish some big things with what they have coming back. Ryan Silverfield in his 3rd season as Memphis's head coach. 14-10 so far, 42 years old. He also has big hopes for 2022.
He does. 2 new coordinators this year, though, for Silverfield, new OC and new DC.
There's Will Rogers.
Number 83 for Mississippi State is number 5. Number 5 is now number 83 for Mississippi State. Number 5 is number 83.
Just turned 21 2 weeks ago. Let's see what he can do in year 3. Noah Grant has it on the tee for Memphis. Tulu Griffin back deep to return for the Bulldogs. And we are underway in Starkville. And this is going to carry through the end zone for a touchback, and the Bulldogs will start at the 25-yard line. So Rogers, 365 yards passing per game last year, best in the SEC. One of his 25 school records. He's done things in 2 years at Mississippi State what it took Dak Prescott 3 or 4 years to do. With that said, Dak is in the house tonight. He's enamored with what he has seen from young Will Rogers.
There's no question. As a young guy, I mean, look at a couple of things. 74% completion percentage. That means if there's a guy open, chances are Will Rogers is hitting him. To me, Clay, he's a quick decision maker, and again, that accuracy are two things that really set him apart.
There's Dak. Big smile on his face, ready to go here tonight. First play for the Dogs. Rogers out of the gun. Quick strike to Ra-Ra Thomas. Made a big impact last year as a true freshman. And he gets the first catch of the year. Zay Collins, the middle linebacker, wraps him up quickly.
That's what you'll see out of Mississippi State. A lot of short stuff. They'll love the check down, especially to the running back. You'll see a lot of that tonight up to Memphis to stop it.
After the 7-yard gain, the first run, and it's Woody Marks picking up the first down. He's an excellent pass catcher, but he can also run when he's called upon.
He can, and this is not an offense that runs a lot, but they're good enough at it where you got to respect it. You can't just drop 8, 9 guys all the time. You got to hang in there for that run.
First down and 10. Number 38. Give it inside, handoff to Marks again. It's across the 40. You know, Woody Marks, if you remember the last year's loss, fumbled on the opening series against Memphis. Led to that Sanchez-Blake scoop and score touchdown. Interesting to see here that this offense is feeding that guy here early, maybe saying, hey, we've got confidence here.
Yeah, it's like they want to get him settled in early in this game because they know how big of a game, how much of a game plan he's going to be a part of.
Marks again in the backfield to the right of Rogers on the opening series for Mississippi State. Rogers quickly out to Thomas again, the sophomore from Eufaula, Alabama. Quickly into plus territory, out at the 47. Ladarian Polk got him down.
Good job by Rogers counting the numbers to the outside. 3 Mississippi State receivers, only 2 Memphis defenders. Shoot the ball out there, easy first down.
And Dylan Johnson comes into the backfield for Mississippi State. Rogers so far 2 for 2 through the air, 19 yards. They go back to Marks, and he's immediately met at the point of attack. There's Jalen Allen, the defensive end, a converted linebacker, making a big play.
And it was also, we see Greg Rubin, the cornerback, getting in on that action. These corners, they got 2 great ones. Greg Rubin, Cameron Smith on the other side. They're going to have to be a big part of this run front as well.
From a 3-4 scheme to a 4-3 scheme this year under new defensive coordinator Matt Barnes. Spent the last 3 years at Ohio State. Was the primary defensive play caller last year. 2nd and 10. Rogers backpedaling a bit. Dumps it off short. Johnson. This is a potential tackler at the 40-yard line and dives ahead to the 35 for a first down.
Interested to see how Memphis decides to defend this. You'll see a lot of guys up on the line of scrimmage and they back out. They only rush 3. That's usually the remedy for an air raid defense. You want to get 8 guys into coverage, give no windows for the quarterback to throw. So you can see right away trying to confuse the looks they're going to give Will Rogers.
Rogers so far perfect through the air. Keep it on the ground with Johnson this time. The leading rusher from last year's team for Mississippi State. Averaged over 5 yards per carry. It is a really nice 1-2 punch for the Dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, 2 guys with experience. It always helps in a complicated system like this, but also productive. You'll see them. They're going to catch a lot of footballs this year, too, out of the backfield.
Both played as true freshmen, now tough and gritty vets. Asked to do a lot in this offense. Johnson stays in pass protection, flares out, he'll be the check down. Johnson steps out of a tackle, inside the 30, dives to the 25-yard line. Cameron Smith got him down, but that's going to be close to another first down for Mississippi State.
And here it is. This is the #1 thing that Matt Barnes and this Memphis defense must do. You got to limit the check down. They get the ball, they shoot it out to the running back, you got to tackle it. Boom, right there. Instead, Johnson breaks a tackle and picks up a bunch of yards close to getting a first down. again, you think air raid, the ball's going down the field all the time. No, it's not. Will Rogers is very content to take that check down over and over and over until you try to take it away. Then he goes deep.
Mississippi State almost 46% last year on third down, and they convert here. Third best in the SEC last year in converting on third. They pick that one up with ease as Johnson carries ahead. Last season, time of possession, almost 34 minutes per game.
Yeah, you think air raid, you don't think chew clock, right? But this is exactly what this rendition of the air raid does. Again, a lot of that with checkdowns, very patient, control that ball.
10th play of the drive. Rogers on the slant to Thomas. Somehow he holds on, gets out of a tackle. It's a sprint, touchdown. What an effort by Thomas. 23-yard catch and run for the first score of the year for the Bulldogs.
This is an offense play that's looking for that stud wide receiver, someone that can come in and change a game. And early on in this one, Ra Thomas making his impression known. He did a great job with the catch, then breaking the tackles, getting in the end zone. They lose Malachi Polk from last year, who had 105 receptions, so again, I think they got a lot of depth. But do they have that guy that scares defenses? And right now, Ra Thomas looking pretty good.
Massimo Biscardi, grad transfer from Coastal Carolina, tacks on the edge of the point. A very efficient look at the air raid. 5 passes, 5 runs, and a touchdown drive on the opening series.
All this offense needs, Clay, is a little bit of green grass. Get the ball to the playmakers. And here we are, Mississippi State up 7-0 early in this one.
You're watching the SEC on ESPN from Starkville, where just moments ago this crowd gave the great Dak Prescott a welcome home. I don't think he has to buy a meal in this town anytime soon.
He is an absolute legend in this town, having a fantastic career in the NFL with the Cowboys.
10 plays, 75 yards, just over 5 minutes. Ra Thomas, a beautiful drive, 3 catches, 42 yards, and a touchdown. As a true freshman last year, had 5 touchdowns on just 18 catches. And he is poised for a big year here as a sophomore. Gabriel Rogers on the return, gets tripped up as he crosses the 20-yard line. And Memphis will go to work offensively for the first time. Seth Hennigan, their 19-year-old trigger man, surprised many by winning the job last year, Rocky. No surprise this season. He is by far the man there. And he beefed up this offseason. Now 210 pounds. That's almost 20 pounds heavier than he was a year ago.
Yeah, that was a major emphasis. He thought that, he needed to be more, need to be a little bit thicker, a little bit less injury prone out there. That was a little bit of an issue at times last year, but good-looking player, high football IQ. He can sling it around.
They'll go 3 wide, start from the 23. Play fake, rolling out. Hennigan, complete. He'll find Gabe Rogers. And it's got some game-breaking speed. He gets the first down quickly, and we talked about it. It's all about tempo with Memphis.
Yeah, exactly. Year in, year out, this is what they do. You can see they always get to the line really fast, get lined up. Sometimes they'll go quick, sometimes they'll slow it down, but it really keeps this defense on its heels.
Rogers will go in motion. Hennigan will swing it out to Rogers. Sidesteps one tackler, now hit in the backfield and pushed down at the 29 by Jet Johnson, the weak side linebacker. Led the team in tackles last year as a first-year starter. And there's his first tackle of the new campaign.
Just a lot of experience, especially on this defense in the front 7. Jet Johnson played football around here a long time. And this is a very aggressive Mississippi State defense. The D coordinator, Zach Arnett, loves to bring pressure. A lot of different looks they'll give this Memphis offense.
Second down and long. Again, a quick strike to the flat. Eddie Lewis He was their number 4 receiver last year, also asked to step up a little bit this year, get some of that lost yardage back. Mookie Watson makes the tackle, and now 3rd down and fairly long here on the opening drive.
Same thing for Memphis. Calvin Austin has now gone to the NFL. Who's the playmaker?
We'll see if Zach Arnett dials up a blitz here. He really likes this front 7 run.
Absolutely loves the blitz. Ton of different looks he's going to give. Now they're checking out of something. He got pressure with those linebackers. They love to do it. Here it comes.
Picked up nicely, but now Hennigan dancing a bit. Tucks it down, and he's going to get hit. Mookie Watson again. Number 14. And he really found his home at middle linebacker last year. And Mississippi State will get off the field.
That's a great job. Like you said, they did a good job of picking up the blitz. But then after that, Mookie Watson, also Randy Charlton, bringing Seth Hennigan down.
So Austin Williams will go back to return this punt. By Joe Doyle, a veteran. Also handled field goal kicking chores last year for Memphis, just focusing on the punting duties. And backs Mississippi State off to the 12-yard line. 7:25 to go, opening quarter. Good start for Mississippi State.
ESPN College Football is presented by delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
There's the dog walk a few hours before kickoff here tonight. God, it's great to have college football back.
No question, partner.
7-0 Mississippi State. Great opening drive for the Bulldogs, 75 yards. On 10 plays, Ra Thomas, a 23-yard touchdown from Will Rogers. Want to let you know that we're going to see limited camera shots here for the next several minutes. We've got some lightning in the area. And as you can understand, we had to pull our camera operators down off their platforms for their safety. So bear with us here for the next few minutes. Hopefully the storm will move out of the area. Dylan Johnson on the run here for Mississippi State on 1st down. He'll pick up 4.
And you get the impression Memphis' defense all week is thinking about the air raid and the pass, and they're going to go here, they're going to come downfield. We got to stop the run first. And Mississippi State is very, very content to just take those runs, take those checkdowns until you stop it.
Could Memphis make Will Rogers run a little bit too tonight? Certainly not his forte. Again, a quick release. Get it out to the 25-yard line. There's Jaden Wally, his first catch of the year. Two-time All-SEC, their top returning receiver, number 11.
I'm going to go back to what you just said a second ago about forcing Will Rogers to run a little bit. You watched the Texas Tech game from last year. That's what they were able to do, get pressure on Rogers, force him out, force him to run. I think Memphis has got to find a way to do that tonight. You cannot let Will Rogers just camp back in that pocket and go through his progressions, because he's a 74% accuracy passer. He will get the ball on the money unless you pressure him.
74%. That was best in the country last season. Marks and Johnson in the backfield to either side of Rogers. He'll go to the near side, and that's caught. Tulu Griffin. And he's got a 1st down across the 40-yard line. Rocky Griffin, an explosive return man in his career up to now. They think he can take a big step as a wideout.
And they need him to. Like we mentioned, Malachi Polk, their best receiver last year. He's now on to the NFL with the Ravens. So somebody in that group, Clay, has got to step up. Multiple guys have to step up and be reliable receivers. That's the only way this kind of offense works.
Again, some lightning in the area. That's why we have limited camera looks right now. Our operators have been pulled down off the platform.
Caution 3.
And that is incomplete. And that is the first incompletion of the year for Will Rogers. So the junior out of Brandon, Mississippi is mortal.
That's right. He does throw the occasional incomplete pass. but very impressed with him. I mean, you know, it's funny, you ask about Will Rogers and you want to hear about his passing and his knowledge of the offense. The first thing everyone mentions, Clay, is his leadership, right? Natural leader, came in as a freshman 2 years ago and instantly, boom, just like that, got the respect of the locker room, and that continues today.
Second down and 10. Rogers has plenty of time, and that's tipped in the air. It was intended for Woody Marks, but the defender got a hand on it. It was Sincere Evans, the weak side linebacker who transferred into Memphis out of Coastal Carolina.
And there they go. They were going to the check down. And that's one way to stop the short pass game. Have those defensive linemen, those linebackers, boom, get those hands up in the air, bat some balls down. Will Rogers, he's not 6'6", right? He's 6'2", and sometimes it can be hard for him to get that ball over the line if those guys time it up right.
So after 7 completions in a row to start the game, Rogers incomplete on his last 2 attempts. Third down and 10. Try and convert for the second time on third down. Rogers over the middle and a man wide open. To Lou Griffin, another big play. First down in plus territory.
It's a great job of Will Rogers hanging in there. And this is the danger of just dropping 8. You only rush 3, and Will Rogers sits back there. Good pocket presence. Had all day to find an open wide receiver.
Now we've got an official ready to stop this game.
There has been lightning detected within 5 miles of the stadium. The field will be vacated until further notice.
Well, that's bad news, and we suspected that might be the case tonight. Thunderstorms popping up all over this part of Mississippi here the last several hours. And now lightning has been detected within 5 miles, and they are going to clear the field.
Yeah, like you said, we were watching the radar before the game saying, come on, pass, go that way, go to the south. But unfortunately, they're going to stop this thing for a little bit. Hopefully not too long.
Based on what you've seen, though, from Will Rogers here to start and this Mississippi State offense, certainly some things clicking right along.
I mean, it looked like they did mid-season last year so far. Like you said, the offense clicking, wide receivers making some plays, getting open. Look good.
Rogers already over 100 yards passing, has a touchdown throw to Ra Thomas. And on the plus side of the field when this game will resume. 5:17 to go, first quarter. Mississippi State 7, Memphis nothing in the season opener for both of these teams. Bulldogs picked to finish 6th in the SEC West this year. And while a division title, might be a long shot, they are expected to win 7 or more games. They won 7 last year.
Yeah, you mentioned 7. That's kind of the point where you start to look for that 8th and 9th win. But it's such a brutal schedule. They play all 6 ranked SEC teams. Georgia, Bama. They play UK on the road. Play Arkansas. So it's a tough schedule. That's why they want to get one here early.
Second toughest schedule in the country, according to the ESPN FPI. They're going to face all 6 of the ranked SEC teams this year, including Kentucky in Lexington and Georgia out of the East. So it's no cakewalk for sure.
No cakewalk. But look, as we saw last year, this is a team that can go in and win some big games.
You see it. Their next home game will be Bowling Green here later this month. They go to Arizona next week and then LSU on September 17th. We're going to take a break. We're going to resume the BYU South Florida game, which also had weather earlier tonight after this timeout. We're getting ready to get the guys back on the field to resume this game, which is in the first quarter, 5:17 remaining when it was stopped because of lightning. 7:55 Eastern Time, 6:55 local. We're expected to get the game back underway at 9:15 Central Time. Will Rogers looked really good. Opening series for Mississippi State tonight, Rocky Boyman. 5 for 5 on the opening drive. Ra Thomas with the touchdown grab, and he takes it in for 23 yards out. Yeah. Here's the play.
Yeah, this offense looked in mid-season form. Timing was good. Ra Thomas, we discussed, this is a team that needs a stud wide receiver to emerge, and Ra looking good early.
This was a little after 8 local time. You can see why we had to suspend play. Just a nasty night here in Mississippi. It's been a 2-hour delay as of right now. Again, we're expecting them to get back on the field here shortly. And in about 10-15 minutes, hopefully, we're going to resume football in the season opener between Memphis and Mississippi State. It's 7-0 Bulldogs. 5:17 to go first quarter. Back in a little bit, hopefully from Starkville, Mississippi.
ESPN celebrating one.
Presented by Dr. Pepper, back in Starkville, Mississippi after what is going to amount to a 2-hour and 15-minute lightning delay. We're ready to resume with the season opener here between Memphis and Mississippi State. Good start for the Bulldogs offense, Rocky Boyman.
And Mississippi State looked at midseason form, throwing the ball around, checking the ball down, getting the ball to the running backs, as they've done so often. Then Ra Thomas was a big play wide receiver at the start of this game, getting this offense kicked off right.
It was a 10-play, 75-yard drive, 5:07 taken up off the clock, and then skies open up. The lightning certainly started flashing, and that's what has kept the guys in the locker room for a large portion of the early evening here.
2 hours
in Starkville. So on the third series of the night, 5:17 left in the first quarter. Mississippi State with the football. That's where we stop, and now we are ready to resume. Claymatic, Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport, our entire ESPN crew, including camera operators. But they have not been given the green light to get back on their podiums yet because it is still dangerous. We're keeping them in mind, so we're locking off our cameras for the next few minutes yet until they're given the all clear. We hope you understand, and we're ready to go. Clock begins here in the first quarter, and Dylan Johnson for Mississippi State gets the handoff. He'll take it 4 yards to the near side. It'll bring up second down.
And we must mention, there's still been a steady rain going on right now, so how does that affect an air raid offense that likes to put the ball in the air 75% of the time?
I imagine that there is some advantage here for Memphis. You know, with the cowbells as loud as they have been, a lot of the crowd has either stayed in the parking lot in their cars or gone home. Now here's Dylan Johnson again on the swing pass, cuts it back up, and he's going to be stopped about a yard short of the first down line to gain. It'll be third and short as we go down to Don Davenport.
Yeah, Clay, you mentioned some of the crowd leaving. I saw a bunch of families with kids getting out of here, and I talked to Memphis head coach Ryan Silverfield. This is actually probably a plus for them. He told me they were not happy with what they saw early in this game, and it's not ideal, but the rain delay allowed them to talk adjustments. What they were seeing early, this crowd was lit earlier, and it is definitely much quieter.
I think it's a great point to get a chance to kind of regroup and thin this hometown crowd out a little bit.
There's a dive play. Dylan Johnson straight ahead for the first down.
Certainly seen a fair amount of running early in this game from Mississippi State. And again, as we talked about, this is an offense, again, air raid, like to throw the ball, but if you don't respect the run, you leave a light box up there. Mike Leach and company very happy to take what the defense is going to give you.
Another long drive here for Mississippi State. And Will Rogers asking for a drier football before the 10th play of the series coming up. Time of possession just being dominated here in the first quarter by Mississippi State. On first down from the 32, it's Johnson again. Get to the edge. He's got the first down. Boy, great speed on the wet turf, cutting the corner, and he beats Ladarian Polk to the outside.
The offense just gives you so many things you have to worry about, so many things to scheme for. Really relying heavily on this run game. As we mentioned, that rain, you look down and see a lot of the wide receivers without gloves on. Hopefully they can get a better chance to catch the ball without those gloves.
Marks and Johnson in the backfield. Either side of Will Rogers, who's 9 of 11 passing, over 100 yards already. He'll go over the middle. Has a man, but is caught at the 10-yard line. That's an 11-yard pickup for Jayden Wally.
And as Just beautiful. The Memphis defense loads up that box in the interior a little bit. So what does Mississippi State do? They drop back, find that open part of that middle of the field with a pass, first down.
For safety reasons, again, our camera operators haven't resumed their post. We have limited camera angles here for you right now. As soon as they're given the all clear, they will be back behind their cameras. Woody Marks in the backfield here on first down and goal to go. It will be Marks. And right into the teeth of that Memphis defense. And now this Tigers defense needs to bowl their back here, already down a touchdown.
Yeah, they got a chance to regroup with the lightning delay, but so far Mississippi State's come out and picked right up where they left off. This defense needs to stop. Needs to be number 15, Quindell Johnson. Had a huge game in this contest last year, stopping some third and fourth and goals. Really kept this team in it, let their offense get going.
Biggest loss for this Memphis defense from a year ago. Middle linebacker J.J. Russell led the league in tackles with 123 last year. Picked up some starters out of the transfer portal. I feel they're going to be better on this side of the ball.
Some pressure.
Second down, a goal. Rogers, touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown pass to Wally. And even though there was pressure bearing down, Rogers was cool, calm, and collected.
You said it, partner. They brought a blitz off the offense's right side, and Will Rogers hung in there, didn't panic, knew he had time, delivered the football.
Even with the rain coming down with a wet track, wet football. That didn't come off the foot very well, and I think that may have been partially blocked by Jalen Allen. Still get it through. Massimo Biscardi with the extra point to make it 14-0. Here's another look at the scoring play.
You can see the pressure come off the offense's right, but look, didn't get happy feet, hangs in there. Just finds a little bit of open space. Again, this air raid's all about finding where's the green grass at. The wide receivers go there, and the quarterback knows that's where to go with the football.
Jaden Wally, who had touchdown catches in 6 different games last year, gets his first of the season.
And Wally was the third leading receiver last year. Big play guy, getting on the board.
Now Memphis offense ready to come back on the field. They have run just 4 plays so far tonight. And they've been sitting around a lot. We're going to see if this offense can find some rhythm. After a slow start and a long delay.
I'll tell you what, Clay, I as a player have had to deal with a long lightning weather delay, and yeah, you're sitting around, your muscles are getting cold and trying to stay loose, but it's so important to not get behind early after coming off a delay. Then you feel like you're really behind if you don't start to catch some rhythm quick.
This is Gabriel Rogers. Good return right up the middle. It's across the 30, and he's spun down at the 32-yard line. Here's our Dr. Pepper Fansville update. A couple of big games tonight in the SEC, Georgia and Oregon. And how about the Bulldogs defeating the Ducks 49-3, largest win in a season opener between AP-ranked teams. 46 points the difference. And Cincinnati gave Arkansas a rub, but it's number 19 Arkansas coming out on top.
And Georgia, the 9 guys drafted, a bunch of guys on that defense. Will they be able to reload? I think they answered that question.
Florida with a nice win over Utah. Still going on, but they're closing in on a victory over Utah. It's late in the fourth quarter, 29-26 Gators. Brandon Thomas on that first run. As we're in the final 30 seconds in what has been a very long first quarter.
I think Memphis has to get Javon Ivory involved. He's at the top of the screen. Good hands, good contested catch, guys. Got a one-on-one to the outside.
In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, the tight end, Kobe Drake. Colin Duncan, great pressure there for Mississippi State.
And you mentioned Duncan. The strength of this team, Clay, is their front seven. And they blitz a lot. The last third down, which was about 2 hours ago, they brought the house and got some pressure on Hennigan. We'll see what they do right here. They're loading up. A lot of A-gap pressure inside by those linebackers.
Defensive coordinator Zach Arnett, he loves to call plays like this. And it's incomplete. Hennigan put it right on the hands of his man, but it can't be caught by Eddie Lewis. And that pass was going to be short anyway. And so now they're going to have to punt again.
And that's why Arnett and company like to bring pressure, because it forces the quarterback to make a decision. A guy like Hennigan has been playing a lot of football in this kind of system his whole life. He has time. He's going to pick that defense apart, but it forces a quick throw well before the sticks. Good job by this defense.
So a 3 and out for the Tigers. Joe Doyle coming on for the second time tonight. Austin Williams back to return. He's going to call for the fair catch at around the 25-yard line. So Seth Hennigan and the Memphis offense, a difficult and very long and frustrating first quarter, which included a 2-hour and 15-minute weather delay. It's 14-0 Mississippi State after one. Boyman, Don Davenport back here at Starkville as we're ready to start the second quarter on a wet and what has been an electric night. Really,
nice.
Literally and figuratively. This game started at 7:32 Eastern time, and then on the third series of the night, we had a 2-hour and 16-minute weather delay. You can see that Mississippi State on their 2 possessions, a couple of long touchdown drives, 75 yards and 88 yards. Now they're ready to start their third from their own 25-yard line. That pass is picked off. Will Rogers throws an interception. And there's the guy you talked about, Wendell Johnson.
Huge player, 2-time American Conference selection. And Clay, Memphis brought pressure. And I said before, this is the key. You cannot allow Will Rogers to just camp back there. They got a little pressure. I think he forced him to release that ball a little bit quicker than he wanted. And then Wendell Johnson made him pay. Here she's just kind of lurking that side there. They bring 6. Got to get the ball out. Receiver doesn't know the ball's coming. And I think that thing just was released a little bit quicker than Rogers wanted. And that's all it takes.
You said it before, the strength of this Memphis defense is their back half, especially their safeties, Johnson and the veteran Rodney Owens. Their question marks have been up front, the front 7, but that back half is deadly. And now they get the ball back deep inside Mississippi State territory, down a couple of touchdowns. They'll give it to Thomas, and he'll pick his way on the right side for a short gain. So now Seth Hennigan and this Tigers offense, some new life, hopefully, for their sake.
Yeah, a little injection of energy. You see them going quick. This is a mark of a Memphis offense. Tempo.
Again, inside handoff, and Thomas this time tackled by the knees. And it's Jet Johnson. And we welcome our camera crew back to this game. It's been a tough night for them, too, with all the lightning strikes in the area. Making this everybody safe here tonight.
We talked to Tim Cramsey, the new offensive coordinator for Memphis. So that tempo is going to be key tonight because Zach Arnett loves to bring pressure. It's hard to bring pressure and exotic looks when you're up to the line so quick.
3rd down and 5. Hennigan lofts it up, and it's incomplete, intended for Markel Jones. That was pretty well covered in their secondary there by Jalen Green, second year at Mississippi State after a transfer from Texas.
And I like the play call there. Let's try to take a shot here. That momentum behind us, but unfortunately it didn't work out for them. Good coverage.
Mississippi State really struggled in 3rd down defense last year. They ranked 95th. That was going to be a big key, not just tonight, but the entire season. Now here's Chris Howard, Florida transfer. And his first field goal attempt of the year is good from 42. And Memphis is able to get some points on the board, taking advantage of the Bulldogs' turnover.
I think that was important. They don't get 6 there, but important to get on the board before Mississippi State got way out ahead. 14-3 here in Starkville.
Back here in rainy Starkville, Mississippi, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. The do-it-all safety for the Memphis Tigers, Wendell Johnson. His interception leading to the first points of the night for the Tigers. It was his play last year that was so key to Memphis getting a win, an upset victory for Mississippi State at the Liberty Bowl a season ago. And he has come up big here in the first half again tonight. Short kickoff. And this is returnable for Tulu Griffin. He's got speed, bounces off a tackle at the 25, bounces off another one at the 33, and gets it close to the 40-yard line. Let's go back to last year and Quindell Johnson. He was all over the field a year ago.
No, all over the place. He made a couple big plays right here. A couple third down and goals, fourth and goals right here. It really turned the tide. Mississippi State's getting ready to go up by 3 scores. Stop them. Their offense gets the ball back. So just a momentum swing. I asked DC Matt Barnes, what makes Quindell Johnson so good? He said he's a rare human being. Just talked about his suddenness, his athletic ability, and we've seen it here tonight.
Yes, teammates tell me he's the smartest guy on the field. He can play every single position offensively or defensively, guys.
Don, if you can run and jump and you're the smartest guy on the field, you can play football.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's already gotten between Will Rogers' ears, you would think. And now Rogers dealing with the wet football. He has already asked for a football exchange one time here tonight, throwing his first interception of the year. We'll see how he rebounds on this next series.
So far, up until that last series, he's looked real good. See how much the rain, the water, the wetness, rain is still coming down if it affects him.
11 for 14, 127. That pass is incomplete. Comes out of the hands.
And that ball kind of wobbled out of his hand. You wonder if the wet ball is affecting him.
There's Johnson again getting in there. Rogers completed his first 7 passes tonight for an incompletion. Has a couple of touchdowns. Remember last year, 50 completions against Memphis, an SEC record. And he had 67 attempts, a team record. 3rd down and 8. They need the 49-yard line. Good pocket. Pass is caught. That is complete for a first down. Rufus Harvey, the sophomore from right here in Starkville, coming off a great camp, earned a starting job this year.
That's right, and Mike Leach talked to us yesterday about Rufus Harvey. Said this guy's going to have a big game. Seemed to really be dialed in, as you mentioned. He had a great preseason. One of these bevy of wide receivers they have to deal with.
When Leach talked to us this week, he said, that wide receiver group, I'm waiting for someone to emerge. It'll be a big night as everyone's going to be on display and auditioning for their jobs. And so far, they've kind of been average. There's another good catch. Ra Thomas, already a touchdown tonight. Give him a first down as he's inside the 40 after that 12-yard hookup.
Say, Ra Thomas is the guy tonight that's been consistently, he's been making plays. Had the first touchdown, he's been breaking tackles, and look at this. You give a guy like him with some open space, that's an easy one for Will Rogers to take.
He's got everything thrown his way. Thomas, 4 catches, 54 yards and a touchdown. Memphis defense substituting. And going from a 3-4 scheme to a 4-3 this year. And they're ready for Woody Marks that time. You talked about it before. Going to try to take that check down away from Rogers. Even make him run a little bit if they can, because that is not really a big part of what Rogers does.
I think that's the key. I'll go back to that Texas Tech game last year. They really made him uncomfortable in the pocket, and he had to move around more than he wanted to. Really affected his accuracy, which is a big part of his game.
Here's Rogers on 2nd and 8. Fakes the throw to the right. Rolling across his body, throws it downfield. Dangerous pass, and somehow that is caught. Caleb ducking inside the 5-yard line. 6'5", 205, using his frame for a 32-yard gain.
Will Rogers heard us talking about, can he move in the pocket? This is a great job. Look, he keeps the eyes downfield, sidesteps, off the run, throwing away from his body, finds a 6'5" wide receiver, Caleb Ducking.
Ducking did not get a lot of reps last year. Position coach Steve Spurrier Jr. expecting big things from Ducking this year. And the senior has him on the doorstep.
There's in the slot now at the bottom of your screen. Maybe a jump ball.
They're going to throw it into the end zone. Some contact, and yep, flags come in. That was ducking who he was looking for. And that could be our first penalty of the game. Cameron Smith in on the coverage, and he was there early.
Holding. Defense number 29. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Such a great target, this area of the field. Yeah, he was tackled before that ball was getting close to getting there.
Ducking, looking for the flag right away, and he got it. He got a couple of them back.
If there's an area of the field where this offense can struggle at times, it's kind of back up inside the 10-yard line. This is when you really got to be able to run the football. We'll see if they can do that here.
Marks is in the backfield. He's not going to get the call. It is going to be a throw and incomplete. There's Cameron Smith redeeming himself against ducking. Second down and goal.
That's some nice coverage. That's no easy task right there, covering a 6'5" wide receiver, fading going toward the back of the end zone. That's a nice job.
Smith is the safety we didn't talk about. We talked about Johnson. We talked about Rodney Owens. So far, Smith has been active here in the first half.
Yeah, Ra Thomas, the top of the screen there. Favorite of Will Rogers.
Second down and goal. Rogers throws. It is caught. And right at the goal line. Stopped. That was Austin Williams. He does not get in. So it's third down and goal to go here for Mississippi State. Andrew Jones making a nice play at the line.
Austin Williams, I think he's been around here for about 17 years, making plays just shy of the end zone. A little pylon cam. That's a good job of keeping him out of the end zone there.
Mississippi State only scored 84% of the time in the red zone last year, 9th in the SEC. Missed field goals didn't help that number.
I'd like to see him run the ball here, Clay.
See if they can. And they do. That's a touchdown for Marks, his first of the year. It's like they heard you, Rocky Gordon. That took a few cracks, but they get in there from 1 yard out. Jaquavius Woody Marks.
Yeah, they were just getting this defense spread out, getting all those cornerbacks and everybody concerned about Caleb ducking and throwing a fade ball out there. Just hand it to your running back, let him find a little crease.
Another long extended drive, 9 plays, 61 yards. As Massimo Biscardi, the transfer from Coastal, comes on for the extra point. 3 minutes and 48 seconds taken off the clock that time. Mississippi State has scored on all 3 series.
Austin Williams stopped just short. Nice shot by, but then Marks takes it in.
With his first touchdown of the year, he had 6 rushing touchdowns last year. Gets in from 1 yard out to make it 21-3 as Memphis' defense is really having a hard time stopping Mississippi State. Everyone had a hard time stopping the Bulldogs in 2014. They were number 1 for 5 weeks. Game day came here for the Auburn game, which Mississippi State won 38-23. Dak Prescott, of course, setting records that season. It was great to see him here tonight before the game. Of course, we had that long weather delay. I don't know if he stuck around. He's a big Bulldog fan, so I'm sure he probably did. He's here somewhere. But, of course, Mike Leach now in year 3 tried to bring that kind of explosive, dominant firepower back to the SEC West from Mississippi State. Let's see if Memphis can get something going offensively. They've got 3 on the board from a field goal. Gabriel Rogers, the return, gets across the 20-yard line. And Hennigan will come out. Well, it's the only college football matchup on the schedule tomorrow night. The inaugural All-State Louisiana kickoff game between Florida State and a team from the SEC West. LSU at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Brian Kelly making his debut as head coach of the Tigers. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app.
Everyone talking about is it going to be Jaden Daniels or Garrett Nussmeier at quarterback, but they're going to be without their best running back, John Emery. That's going to be a key loss for them to start the season. Florida State, on the other hand, ran the ball pretty well last week.
There's Hennigan throwing on first down. And he's going to pick up 3 on that pass to Javon Ivory. There is still no rushing yards collected on the stat sheet tonight by this Memphis offense, and just 24 total yards.
And we've been talking about it all week, right? This is an offense, when they're clicking historically, is when they've been able to run the ball. Had a lot of great running backs over the years, right? Gainwell, Tony Pollard, Darrell Henderson. Got to get back to that.
Now there's Hennigan, who will run it. And wrapped up quickly by Jed Johnson. Hennigan said it before, he has beefed up a little bit this season to maybe help with his run game, but it's going to be another 3rd down and long, and we've got an injured player as well. I think this is Macklin Pounders, the left tackle. Pounders making his way to the sideline. You talked about those great running backs of Memphis in recent years.
Yeah, you go back to 2017, 2018, 2019 when they were really doing well and big name in the American Conference, when they had those big backs carrying the load. Got to get back to that.
Well, Jay Decker, transfer from Northern Illinois, checks in at running back. Hennigan flushed out of the pocket on the run, thrown behind his receiver. Is that caught? No. And it's going to be 4th down, intended for Anthony Lanphier, one of the tight ends trying to fill the shoes of Sean Dykes, who has moved on to the NFL.
And I love that call by Zach Arnett, the D coordinator. It was a fire zone, so they brought pressure, but they played zone behind it. Didn't give anywhere for Seth Hennigan to go with the football.
So another series that stalls out for Memphis here in the half. Joe Doyle, another punt. It's a good kick. The former Tennessee volunteer Austin Williams fielded just inside the 30-yard line. All Mississippi State on this stormy night in Starkville. 8:44 to go before half. Incomparable Mike Leach in his 3rd year here in Starkville, 150 career wins. Only Nick Saban has more among active coaches in the SEC. His team has had the ball 4 times, 3 touchdowns, that 1 pick on the first play of that 3rd drive, but otherwise a pretty good night for this Mississippi State offense.
I still just love it. A lot of these offensive coordinators around college football, they have a chart that's bigger than their head. Mike Leach has a little half a piece of paper with his offensive calls.
Again, that ball is wet. That pops out. Sincere Evans knocked it loose.
An incomplete pass.
They're going to rule that as incomplete. I think it's the right call.
Close. It's hard to see right there. Was he able to secure the ball while he was making a football move? I think it's the right call.
Jameer Calvin, intended receiver, 6th-year senior, 2nd year at Mississippi State. He played for Leach at Washington State and is now back with the Pirate. And they may take another look at this.
Ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. Previous play is under further review.
So we'll take another look. Our replay official tonight, Michael Webster. It's an ACC officiating group.
See, my only thing was it looked close. Just get one look at the replay, but it's got to be indisputable video evidence. And from that one look we got, I didn't see anything that would definitively overturn that call. You know, I can see there's no sign of the ball if it was secure or not.
Kind of hard to tell from that angle.
I think if, to me, he's down right there. Then the ball pops out. Yeah.
They may end up ruling this a completed pass and then a loss. I don't know. I think he caught it.
Yeah, it looks like he caught it, but
then
I think
was
his
down.
knee was down. Yeah.
Again, the ball is wet. We've got a slick surface after the rain that we've had tonight. It's been off and on. It seems like it's stopped for the time being, but it's no doubt wet down there.
From that angle there, it looked to me like it was secured. His knee was down. Then the ball pops out.
Referee Gary Patterson There's Ryan Silverfield on the left, Mike Leach on the right. Ryan Silverfield said they didn't talk much about the upset win in preparation for this one because the pass is a pass. They knew how hard it was going to be to come in here into Starkville and repeat that trip.
New players, new coordinators, 2 new ones from Memphis.
He would sure love to see his team get another break here. They've already caused 1 turnover tonight. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get a lot of good looks on this.
So the ruling on the field was incomplete. After looking at it, it looks like it was a completed pass, but his knee was down as the ball came out. One more look at it. That looks completed. Then there's the knee. Then there comes the football.
Yeah. I think he's down at about the 31-yard line.
You got to imagine they're trying to find what yard line he's down at.
Well, we've already waited out a 2-hour and 15-minute weather delay. Why not wait a little longer for this?
After further review, the ruling on the field is a catch and down at the 28-yard line. It'll be second down, Mississippi State at the 28-yard line.
That wasn't where the tackle was, though. That's where the recovery was of the strip, it seemed to me. Interesting. Yeah. All right. So it's second down and 11 as we march on here. 8.5 to go, first half, 21-3 Mississippi State. Will Rogers, 16 of 21. 181 yards, couple of touchdowns. He's been intercepted. He's looking to throw again. He'll swing it out. Here's Marks, one of the best receiving running backs in this conference and around the country. Greg Rubin runs him out after an 8-yard gain.
Marks has had 143 receptions in 24 games. He is a legitimate threat out of the backfield. And you think air raid, Clay, you think, oh, quick, 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 right? No, this is an offense that controls the ball. And I think a lot of it is due to the fact of what you just saw right there, what we've been discussing. It's the checkdowns. And he is content to take it over and over and over and over again and not get impatient and just wait for you to bring someone up, and then they hit you deep.
They go 4 wide, and they're going to pick it up. A pass to Jameer Calvin. First down, Mississippi State.
There's just a lot of open space in the middle of the field. The ball is just a little bit behind the wide receiver. Calvin, if he catches that in stride, he may still be running.
Mike Leach will tell you, Jameer Calvin, he's the guy I probably trust the most in knowing, in understanding this offense, because he was doing this stuff at Washington State years ago. On first down, a little play fake. Rogers again, short pass. Here's Marks. Another catch and run into plus territory. Lowers his shoulder at the 45. And that's a gain of 12 for Woody. Cullens and Canton Arku combine on the tackle.
And what you see out of Marks, you saw it right there again. It's the check down, but he always seems to make the first tackler miss. Memphis not doing a great job tonight tackling, but he gets that ball out in the flat. Oh, there goes, that's actually 2 guys. Picks up an extra 5 yards after first contact. That's what he's so good at. I mean, it's such a weapon to be able to depend on for Will Rogers.
His next completion will be his 20th of the night already. On first down, he'll give it to Marks, this time on the ground. Hard run, churns ahead for close to 5 before Cullens, fifth-year senior middle linebacker, makes the tackle. Rogers completed at least 30 passes in every game but one last year, Rocky. And in that game, he took the fourth quarter off because it was a blowout win over Tennessee State. I mean, he completed that many passes each and every game.
And I'll tell you what, I said it at the beginning, but to me, there's 2 things. Of all the things you want out of a quarterback, To me, two things are top. One, are you a quick decision maker? And number two, accuracy. When the guy's wide open, do you get him the football? And Will is one of the best at it.
There's his sixth straight completion. It's Calvin again. Inside the 35-yard line, Smith knocks him out. They'll move to sticks. Their first down for Mississippi State. Dominating time of possession. Ball control not been an issue for the Bulldogs here in the season opener.
In Memphis' defense, they're doing what they've tried to do coming into the game, which is give them some different looks, but just nothing has affected Will Rogers. Only one time have they actually been able to upset him in the pocket, and that's when Quindell Johnson got that interception. Other than that, he's had a clean pocket and had time to throw the ball.
Little shoulder fake. Now he'll roll to the right. Keeping his head downfield. He's going to flip it downfield and take no chances. And that's the thing about Rogers. He is so heady. We talked about him being the son of a coach. He's kind of like an extra coach on the field at times, the way he runs this offense. You see last season, 74% completion percentage, second best in the nation.
It's incredible. Again, everyone wants to talk about the big plays quarterback makes. A lot of times it's just the easy ones. Schemes today, especially this scheme, is going to find ways to get guys open. But do you have the guy, the trigger man, who can get him the ball? And man, 74% completion percentage is great.
Second down and 10 from the 34. Here's Simeon Price. First time he gets a touch tonight. Redshirt freshman out of Pensacola, Florida. He's the number 3 running back behind Marks and Johnson, a guy they're very high on.
And I'll tell you what, another mark of an air raid offense, you got to have wide receivers that can block. Look at Tulu Griffin on the outside with a great block, just kicking the cornerback Oliver out a little bit and accounting for another 10 yards. Excellent.
Price played in 4 games last year before taking the red shirt, and they think he can give that position some real depth.
Caleb ducking down the bottom of your screen. They like the fade ball to him last time they were down this area. Couldn't connect.
A pitch to Johnson. Cut it up to the right side. Now, we haven't talked about this offensive line much yet tonight, Rocky. You know, some changes up there, and you can bet Mike Leach is keeping a close eye on the big fellas up front.
Absolutely. You see LaQuiston Sharp there. He's the alpha of the group. He and Will Rogers have such a great relationship. Sharp's been around a long, long time, a graduate. But then also the left tackle. There's no Charles Cross out there, right? Number 9 overall pick, went to the Seahawks. Now Quatravius Johnson mans that spot there, left tackle. And so far, he's done a good job there, big number 69.
I didn't know if they were going to get Sharp back, granted a 6th year by the NCAA. Massive break for this offense. Second down and 7. A short pass that was caught by Rufus Harvey as he dives inside the 10-yard line. Another tackle for Cullins. So here's a 3rd down coming up. And you look at that time of possession, how kitty-wampus that is.
Kitty-wampus?
Add that to your repertoire.
There you go.
3rd down and 4.
There we go, ducking, bottom of the screen. Looks like they're going to bring some pressure here. The offense's right side, Collins.
Rogers getting some pressure from the backside. He's going to throw it away. Jalen Allen got in there. Now a flag comes in. And this appears to be going against Memphis.
Holding, number 24, defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
It's Greg Rubin. He was 3rd in the conference in passes defended last year. Outstanding sophomore out of Memphis. But he's called for the holding, and now a big break for Mississippi State as it's 1st and goal.
Yeah, huge play there. Get a new set of downs after Memphis looked like it was going to force a field goal for the first time tonight. That's the thing, this offense has wide receivers going this way, that way, everywhere, and you get handsy as a defensive back.
Memphis knew coming in here tonight to have any chance for another upset. Couldn't beat themselves. That really hurts. Rogers, incomplete. Was getting heated up, tried to get it to Harvey quickly, who's standing near the goal line, but it's incomplete.
I think Harvey slipped a little bit, kind of messed up the timing on that throw.
We're going to probably see a lot of that the rest of the way tonight, as wet as it is. Still dripping from the overhang in front of us here in the press box. But at least there's no lightning in the air.
Last time this area of the field, they went to the run. It's a good idea to consider that again here on second down.
Dylan Johnson, junior running back out of Greenville. He'll pass protect. The throw to the end zone. There's another penalty flag. This is going to be another pass interference call. Austin Williams, the intended receiver. Actually, no, I think that was away from the pass. Yeah, it was on Greg Rubin again.
That's unfortunate because they had a free rusher. You see at the bottom of the screen, William Whitlow was untouched. See Greg Rubin in front.
Yeah, I wondered if even Davion Ross could have potentially been called for pass interference there, too.
I think you're right. Ryan Silverfield saying, look, we cannot give this explosive offense extra opportunities.
So first and goal again. Rogers lofting one to the corner. And it's just out of the reach of his man. Intended for Harvey. Darian Polk, the JUCO transfer safety, covered him up pretty well that time. Second down and goal.
Saw some pressure. Memphis' defense brought 6. Would have taken a beautiful throw to complete it.
Knew we were going to see a lot of receivers tonight. Mississippi State used 16 different receivers throughout the season last year. Again, they lost Mekhi Polk, but they returned 72% of their receptions from a year ago. A lot of weapons for Rogers. They're in close quarters here inside the red zone. Second down and goal to go. Rogers doesn't have a rushing touchdown yet in this season, just one in his career. Was trying to pick his way to the goal line, but Andrew Jones cut him down.
That's of all the strengths that Will Rogers has, that's probably not one of them. You know, the guy that's going to tuck it and pick up some hard yardage inside. Good job of that Memphis defense forcing that situation to happen. You know, go after the running back, cover him up, take your chances with Will Rogers carrying the football.
Third down and goal. And Memphis shuttling in new defenders, trying to match up here. See if they get their communication down before the snap. Handoff to the goal line. Did he get in? Yes. Touchdown. Woody Marks, his second touchdown, but there is a marker down on the field. Over on the far sideline, a penalty flag.
Offside. Defense, number 8.
Yeah.
Penalty decline. Touchdown.
That's going to go against Memphis. It just didn't look like the communication was right leading up to that play for the Tigers.
I agree with you, but I'll tell you what, that was a statement run by that offensive line for Mississippi State. It was man coverage on the outside. They put everyone else in the box and said, we're going to line up our guys over your guys and see who's better. Mississippi State won that matchup.
Play drive for Will Rogers and Mississippi State. And Biscardi will try to make it 28-3. Wow. This has been a dominating half for the Bulldogs. Some revenge from last year's loss up at the Liberty Bowl. And Woody Marks has a 2-score night. And we're not even done here in the first half. It's all Dogs. College football primetime presented by Dr. Pepper. 28-3 Mississippi State here late in the first half. 47 plays, 286 yards. Total offense for the Bulldogs. By contrast, Memphis just 13 plays tonight and 24 total yards. That is a butt whooping.
It's one thing to possess the ball. It's another thing to also score. They're doing both right now.
Good return that time for Gabe Rogers. Just barely tripped up as he gets to the 30-yard line. Let's go to the last meeting. It was quite the different story, as Memphis got a big win at the Liberty Bowl last September. Calvin Austin, this controversial 94-yard punt return touchdown. Rogers touchdown pass to Mekhi Polk. Made it 31-29 with about a minute and a half to go, but the two-point attempt failed. Snapped the Bulldogs' 12-game winning streak in the series. It's been just the reverse tonight.
I think it's safe to say they're exacting some revenge tonight from that loss last year.
Sam Hennigan trying to get something going. He's going to dump it off short. And that pass caught by Asa Martin, the transfer from Miami. His first touch, Jalen Green quickly gets there to close him down.
Hey, Clay and Rocky, I actually worked this game last year, and you talk about it being a different story. I got to tell you, it actually wasn't a different story in the first half. Mississippi State led 17-7, and I promise you, I'm probably going to have a very similar conversation with Memphis head coach Ryan Silverfield as I did at halftime in this game last year. Stop hurting yourself. Open field tackles. It's the same thing. Now, I will say this. I talked to Austin Williams, Mississippi State wide receiver, earlier this week, and he said, listen, we took our foot off the gas pedal last year in this game. That's not going to happen again.
Certainly on no side of that right now with a 28 points and a 25-point lead.
Hennigan got it to his tight end, and it's incomplete. Kate Priestcorn, junior out of Michigan, hit by DeCam Richardson, who steps in for Mark Emerson at the cornerback spot this year, and it's another fourth down.
I'll tell you what, another mark of this Memphis offense throughout the years has been, look, they've a lot of formations, a lot of eye candy, window dressing, and enables guys to get open in open space. There's not been an open wide receiver all night for Seth Hennigan. You got to credit this defense. They're flying around out there, not giving them anything.
Williams, nice move. There's a penalty marker down. He gets over the 30-yard line. Couple of flags on the play. There's Gary Patterson again. Trying to iron things out. There's laundry all over the field.
2 fouls on the play, both during the return. Holding, number 26, return team. That penalty declined. Illegal block in the back. Number 22, return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Mississippi State.
Well, Monday night, it's the second of the Chick-fil-A kickoff games at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. This one on ESPN. The only game on the Labor Day schedule. Dabo Swinney, number 4 Clemson, taking on Georgia Tech, 8 Eastern. Coverage begins at 7 with college football countdown. How about that Clemson D-line? I mean, they are going to be fierce again. It seems like they are every year. Certainly the case.
Well, and they also got to do it without Brent Venables this year. That's something they haven't done in a long time. But for me, Clay, it's their offense. DJU lost a bunch of weight. See if they can be more explosive.
We're being told that our halftime here tonight is going to be just 15 minutes instead of the usual 20 because of the long delay here tonight. I feel that we need to move things along. Flags everywhere. I think that's going to be a face mask. In fact, the helmet comes off. Dylan Johnson just ripped off his head.
Face mask. Number 93, defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It's Beyonce Kimbrough, the junior out of Memphis. Too aggressive here.
To go out of the game because his helmet came off through the penalty.
That's one. That's beyond an easy call to make right there.
Boy, it's been a rough night This Mississippi State defense haven't been able to really stop this air raid attack. Really like Matt Barnes, though, defensive coordinator. I think he's got a bright future. 35 years old, spent the last 3 years with the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Was the primary defensive play caller after Kerry Coombs got demoted last year. And now lands the defensive coordinator job with Memphis.
Yeah, this is the first time he's been the guy, right? Hired as a defensive coordinator, young guy. He's had a nice career so far. This is just such a hard offense to figure out, especially week one. There's Matt behind that big metal pole right there. There we go. I think it's him. Yep.
Studied a lot of Hal Mummy and Mike Leach over the years. Thought it was going to come in handy tonight.
Yeah.
So far, it hasn't been the case. Maybe some second half adjustments, though.
Yeah, he was actually an offensive coordinator in an air raid scheme at West Virginia Wesleyan.
There's ducking. He'll duck to the 40-yard line as the first half comes to an end. Boy, that was a long one. 3 hours and 45 minutes later, we're going to the half. Now, of course, 15-minute lightning delay, but Memphis will receive the second half. Got a lot of work to do. Down 25. It is 28-3 at the break. Matt Berry and the crew will have our halftime for us. College football primetime presented by Dr. Pepper from Starkville tonight. All Bulldogs. Local. This game kicked off a little after 6:30 tonight, but a lot of weather delays. It's been a big night for Will Rogers in Mississippi State. He's hit 10 different receivers tonight.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so tough if you're a defensive coordinator. Who do we take away? Well, 10 different guys have touched the ball. This offense looks like it's in sync. When the defense drops 8, they take the check down. When they take away the check down, they throw it deep like that. And it's just Will Rogers. He's been in this style of offense since he's been in high school. Now he's in year 3 of college and playing very, very well.
Again, just 21 years old. In fact, turned 21 just a couple of weeks ago. Led the SEC at 365 passing yards per game. One of his 25 school records, 241 in the first half with a couple of touchdowns and that one interception picked off by Quindell Johnson. Memphis is going to have the football to start the second half. Can Seth Hennigan hold up his end of the deal in what was billed to be a pretty good shootout between Rogers and Hennigan? So far, the Tigers' offense has absolutely been non-existent.
And we talked about it a second ago, but what this offense right now is missing is that playmaker. Last year, nothing's going right. What do you do? Let's give an end around to Calvin Austin. Let him make a play, right? Let him scare a defense. Right now, just have not seen that playmaker emerge, and defenses can just settle in on him.
Ben Rabin, a short kick, and then stumbling across the 15-yard line, Asa Martin. And so it's going to be a long field for Memphis as we go down to Don Davenport.
Yeah, guys, talk to Memphis head coach Ryan Silverfield. Execution, the word that he kept using that they are not taking care of on the offensive side of the ball. And he said there's a couple of reasons why. One, protection has to be better for his quarterback, Seth Hennigan. On top of that, he said Seth has happy feet. His receivers are letting him down, dropping passes. But he also said, you know what, there's 30 minutes left in this ball game. They've been here before. He feels like this team is built to fight. So we'll see what happens here in the second half.
Hennigan's 3,300 passing yards broke the school freshman record set by Paxton Lynch in 2013, but so far it's been a slow start to his year. It'll be completed on the first pass of the second half. It's to the 20-yard line. 3-yard pickup that time for Jones.
And this defense for Mississippi State just does not look fooled, right? There's nothing formationally or motion-wise that Memphis is doing to keep this defense off balance. They always seem to be right there on the spot with about 3 maroon jerseys.
Jones goes in motion. Here comes some pressure, and Hannigan again. I think he had some happy feet.
There you go.
And just threw it too soon, intended for Martin, but Colin Duncan was up at Hannigan's grill, and now it's 3rd down and long.
He looks all out of sorts. And the guy who last year as a freshman was such a cool customer, playing well above his age right now, he's just spooked a bit by this defense. Not accurate.
It's 7 yards to pick up a 3rd down, something they have yet to do tonight. See if Zach Arnett dials up the blitz. The pressure comes right up the middle. Hannigan on the crossing route is complete. And Eddie Lewis makes the catch, but Jet Johnson quickly wraps him up well short of the line to gain. And it'll be 4th down, and the punting unit will come out again.
Jet Johnson's played a good football game tonight. He's made some plays in the run game. There's a nice open field tackle to get off the field. And yeah, Seth Hannigan looks just very unsettled right now. But they also, the scheme cannot find a way to get a wide receiver open with some space in front of him.
Another punt for Joe Doyle. He has been pretty good tonight. But getting way too much work. Austin Williams gets it to the 40-yard line. We talked about tempo being so key for Memphis. It's hard to have tempo when you're going 3 and out all the time. Yep. The U.S. Open round of 16 begins tomorrow morning on ESPN at 11 a.m. Eastern. Continues at 7 Eastern on ESPN2 with 4 hours of primetime coverage. As always, every point is streaming live on the ESPN app. Did you watch a little bit last night? It was emotional and a little sad too. A special night, as Serena said, her goodbyes to all her fans.
She left the door open a little bit, though, right?
A little bit.
Maybe just a little bit, but no, I mean, what a tremendous career she's had. Really just changed the game of tennis. I mean, who's the best women's tennis player of all time? I got to go with Serena.
Calling her the GOAT last night for sure. 28-3 Mississippi State. Exacting a bit of revenge so far after that loss to the Tigers last year at the Liberty Bowl. Woody Marks has a 2-touchdown night, cuts it up. Brian straight ahead. You know, we talked about his passing ability, but I think Woody Marks tonight and also Dylan Johnson, when they have run the ball, they have been effective.
They really have. And Marks, he's a guy a couple years ago really transformed his body. You know, got into the diet thing and working out and eating the right things, and it's just really helped him on the field. Again, be that guy who's such a steady Eddie out of the backfield with the check down routes, but can run the ball when they have to. He's really a key part of this offense.
Still in the backfield. They'll feed him again. Bounces to the outside. And he's going to be about a yard shy of the line to gain. As we go down to Dawn.
Yes, you guys are talking about Woody. You can call him Chef Woody, by the way, because, yes, last year was his big offseason of putting on some pounds, and that's what his teammates called him. Transformed that body, added the good weight, and part of it was learning how to cook for himself. Healthy, quick ideas. He has continued that. He added 5 more pounds this season, guys, at his go-to chicken fajitas.
Ooh. Wait a second. There is good weight? I haven't been able to accrue
you don't know anything about
weight.
that, do you?
I haven't been able to get those pounds. 3rd down and 1. And there is another 3rd down conversion. They are 8 for 8 tonight as he crashes inside the 45-yard line.
And I think this is good for this offense moving forward and keep working this run game just to make sure that's just something else for defenses to think about. Look at the big boys up front. We talked about how experienced they are. Nice job blocked by Cole Smith, who's been around here a long time. Nice little ginger coming off there.
This offensive line has asserted itself really since the first series of this ballgame. And now Dylan Johnson gets a chance, and he's just as effective. A 9-yard burst before Collins finally brings him to the turf.
I mean, that's just demoralizing for a defense. Got one running back come off the field, a little dinged up, and here comes another one that's just as good. Great 1-2 punch they have a running back here.
1A, 1B. I wouldn't even go that far. I'd just say cone number 1.
Right.
Rogers wants to throw again. That one's tipped at the line, and it lands incomplete, even though a valiant effort there by Johnson to try to get his hands under it. Cormonte Hamilton, the defensive end out of Memphis, an Ohio State transfer, who really had a good camp for the Tigers, got his paw on. Third down.
It's a good thing, though, too, because Dylan Johnson was wide open on that check down with a lot of space.
Not a good sign for Mississippi State as Woody Marks has disappeared into that medical tent.
So you're going to bring the house here on defense.
Rogers taking a deep shot. We haven't seen this yet. He's got his man. Touchdown. Caleb Ducking. 35 yards. What a pretty play call. And Ducking makes it 34-3.
What an exceptional play. Memphis' defense loads up, bring the house. A little check at the line of scrimmage by Will Rogers, and then how about a 6'5" wide receiver? Put it on the money on the outside shoulder. Picture perfect.
First touchdown of the year for Ducking. The extra point is good. Yeah, Ducking hoping for a big year as a redshirt senior. The Rolling Fork, Mississippi native playing well, and really everybody from Mississippi State playing well. That's the third touchdown strike for Will Rogers, the poet, getting it done tonight. Back at Starkville for the SEC on ESPN. How about these fans? Even though the weather's been bad tonight, long weather delay, they're still fervent. And there's Woody Marks stretching it out on the sideline. That's a good sign. Put pressure on that leg. Came out of the game moments ago. 35-3. Still a lot of time to play here in the third quarter. And Memphis will start at the 25-yard line. This week's AP rankings brought to us by Verbo. Not a ton in the way of upsets to talk about. A couple of top 10s going down today. The Utes of Utah getting beat by Florida. First win for Billy Napier as head coach of the Gators. And then Notre Dame losing. No shame there because they lose to the number 2 ranked Buckeyes 21-10.
I really think Notre Dame has a chance to go 11-1.
Yeah, well, you were going to say that
regardless.
No matter. I mean, you played there. You love the Irish. You're an apologist.
You look at the schedule, end of the season, USC, how good are they going to be? Clemson, of course, we really don't know a ton about them yet, so it's possible for the Irish.
Well, Seth Hennigan, it's been this kind of night. He's been chasing it, and there is a penalty marker down.
Holding, number 0, defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Finally a break for the Tigers as Jalen Green is called for the hold. Seth Hennigan, one of 30 quarterbacks named to the preseason Manning Award watch list. Only true sophomore on the list. This is not the way you wanted to start the year.
No. And I think right now they need to find a way to get him settled, get him some confidence. I give him some easy throws, get him just something, get some momentum going here, and get him out of this funk he's in.
Going to go back to Brandon Thomas, the starting running back. He's been pretty quiet in this game as Emmanuel Forbes brings it down.
Rocky, the word funk you just used described it perfectly. I want to tell you a story. Memphis center Jacob Likes told me when Seth Hennigan came to campus, he was 17 years old. That was over a year ago, slightly goofy. But once he hit the field that spring, he flipped the switch, had this killer instinct, looked his guys in the eyes, just natural leader. Not seeing any of that right now on the sideline. Body language is not good. You can sense the frustration out of him when he's communicating with his teammates.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dawn. Just watching him last year, you mentioned body language. For a young guy, he had command back there. He just looks all out of sorts right now. That's why I really wish they just get him some easy throws. They're trying, but this Mississippi State defense is all over the place.
Memphis 0 for 6 on third down tonight. And as tough as it's been for this Memphis offense, I think you got to give a lot of credit to this Mississippi State defense, too, under Zach Arnett. And they have played well. They're going to bring the house. Picked up well, but that should have been caught. Would have been a big play. Memphis needed one, but it's dropped by Eddie Lewis, the senior out of Harlem, New York. And it's 4th down, and Joe Doyle will have to punt again.
It's a crusher right there because finally get a matchup, get the defensive back's feet twisted all around, and just drop an easy one. It's literally nothing going right, but I think a big reason is that man right there, Zach Arnett. I really enjoyed talking with him this week. He's a guy that likes to bring pressure. He's done just that tonight. And like we said, he said, look, people say, maybe we pressure too much, but the other time is if a defensive back has a cover guy for 5 seconds, that's no good either. But right now we're going to get another look. Mississippi State's offense up 35-3 here in Starkville.
Looks like a house divided there, potentially. She got the last laugh last year. He's liking the way this thing is going tonight here in Starkville. 35-3 Mississippi State. So Mike Leach decides, after all, that he will bring out the punting unit for the first time tonight. Archer Trafford, the Air Force transfer, will boot it away. There's another punter. And also had a good camp, George Georgopoulos, a UMass transfer, battled Trafford. We might see both here tonight, but there just haven't been many kicking opportunities for those guys. Eddie Lewis, good return for Memphis. That's the only college football game on the schedule tomorrow night. On Sunday, the inaugural All-State Louisiana kickoff game between Florida State and LSU. The Superdome in New Orleans. Brian Kelly going to be on the sideline for the Tigers for Game 1 of his era at LSU. Our coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern. Of course, Mike Norvell, he led Memphis to the 2019 American Conference title, and of course the Cotton Bowl. He's struggled in Florida State so far. He's hoping to get things turned around for the Noles this year.
It's definitely been a tougher go for him down there. Florida State.
So, I mean, as a Notre Dame grad, you know Brian Kelly very well.
Yes.
Of course, you live in Cincinnati. You remember him being there very well. And how do you think he's going to do in Baton Rouge?
I think he'll do well. I mean, he's always recruited well. I think he's a great coach. You know, I think a lot is made of how he exited both Cincinnati and Notre Dame. I personally think a lot of that has to do with the early signing period, and there's no good time for a coach to leave. I think they're kind of held beholden to that date like that. They want to get with their new teams because that's how recruiting happens. And so, I don't know. I think he'll do well down there, though. I really do.
After the catch by the tight end Prescorn that gets him to midfield. Here's Memphis into plus territory for the first time in a long time. And there goes Jay Ducker, last year's MAC Freshman of the Year. And he gets the first touchdown of the night for the Memphis Tigers. A run of 50 yards. Well, we thought Jay Ducker might give this run game a lift at some point, and it happens on this play.
And we talked about needing a spark, some playmaker to step up, and just looks like he did last year at Northern Illinois. Just, you know, he's not like an exceptionally explosive guy, but he does well at reading blocks, finds a little crease, and takes it to the house. I mean, right now, if you're Ryan Silverfield, you're looking for guys that have fight on your team. Jay Ducker showed he's one of them.
And Chris Howard, who had a field goal back in the first quarter, bangs home the extra point to make it 35-10. Jay Ducker had almost 1,200 yards rushing last year for the MAC champion Huskies, and most of that, Rocky, came in the final 8 games of the year.
It did. You and I called a Northern Illinois game last year. MAC Freshman of the Year, and Coach Ryan Silverfield said, look, he's a guy that's, you know, he's not super flashy, but he's always going to get 4 yards, 5 yards. Well, he got 50 there. Not too bad.
And with Rodriguez Clark out tonight, unavailable. Back to a native of Starkville, giving opportunities for other guys. Saw Asa Martin on a couple of series. Jay Ducker making the impact for Ryan Silverfield's Memphis Tigers. An offense that needed to finally get something positive out of this game. It has been such a hard go to them.
Such a hard go. They finally might have caught Mississippi State's defense sleeping a little bit. It's good to get some energy going, get some juice going on that offense.
Noah Grant ready to kick it off. Tulu Griffin back inside the 5-yard line. He's going to let this sail into the end zone. Well, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate is making a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. We say thank you to Allstate. Things starting to get a little chippy down there as penalty flags are out. Well, this game is now 4.5 hours old, and we're still in the early stages of the third quarter, and that is not good. Number 14 is Bookie Watson. He threw a punch.
Stay here. Personal foul after the play. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 14 on the return team. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 41 on the kicking team. Those fouls offset. Be 1st and 10 at the 25.
And it's Joel Williams from Memphis. Gotta be careful here, especially Watson. He's kind of the unofficial team captain of the defense. Got to use your head here.
Yeah, 5th-year senior, he knows better than that.
Especially in a game that's this lopsided.
Right. Yeah, you just can't, for an older guy, experienced as he is, can't get baited into doing something foolish like that. As you mentioned, he's that leader on that defense, great linebacker.
Will Rogers closing in on 300 yards passing. You'll remember last year the SEC at 365 passing yards per game. One of his 25 school records. Stay on the ground with Dylan Johnson. Dylan Johnson just so hard to bring down because he never gives up. There was a door that was shut. He bounces it to the outside, makes something positive out of it again. That's a pickup of 4.
Yeah, the vision, too, to see out of the corner of his eye, a little space off to the right, then cut it upfield, make something out of nothing, take 5 yards.
Now, 48 yards doesn't sound like much, but a productive 48 yards.
That's right.
And of course, what he does in the passing game. Also has 4 catches for 25. First down, Mississippi State, as Dylan Johnson will move the sticks. Really like him, and especially with Woody Marks, maybe a little nicked up now. Probably going to see more of Johnson the rest of the way.
Yeah, can't imagine we'll see Marks the rest of the way, but what a luxury to have another, not even a backup running back. He is very much a first-team running back, doing a good job.
Austin Williams, the veteran, went in motion, and they're going to go to the check-down receiver, Rufus Harvey. He's little, 5'10", 165 pounds. Mike Leach just praises Harvey. His eagerness, his enthusiasm for the game. Back-to-back plays there with a first down. That one goes to Harvey.
Yeah, you got to have enthusiasm playing this offense. Very technical. Lots of communication has to happen between the quarterback and the wide receivers.
There's a surprise. We're just talking about Marks maybe being limited the rest of the way, maybe not see him at all the rest of the night, but he's back on the field. Number 7, lined up to the left of Will Rogers. That's good news for Mississippi State fans.
Very good news. Showing some pressure here.
And it'll be Marks leading the blocking in front of Johnson, and Johnson spins inside the 45-yard line. Zay Collins, the middle linebacker, makes the stop at this backfield. And of course, Johnson at quarterback, Marks and Johnson, the running back. It's been impressive tonight.
Johnson just does such a good job of, you'll see some space to the outside, but then boom, he cuts that thing back up, gets north-south real quick. Always gaining positive yardage.
Boy. His first punishment that Will Rogers has taken tonight. Jalen Allen coming off the edge, the converted linebacker. One of their best pass rushers. He shows you why.
Yeah, it looked like there was some mix-up there between the center and the left guard, Nick Jones. They didn't pass that thing off. And able to linebacker to come in for a sack there.
And think how tough it's been for Memphis. Preparing for the air raid is hard. And then you think about next week, too. They've got to go to Navy, another road game, and face a triple option.
Talk about the antithesis, right?
Pressure off the edge, a little blitz coming. Rogers read it, steps up to avoid a sack, but he is knocked down short of the 50-yard line anyhow. No gain. Jalen Allen again.
We've discussed, I think that's probably, if you had to point out some weaker points of Will Rogers' game, it's that. Not the best runner. I think that's something as a quarterback, especially if you want to go to the next level. Today's NFL, you got to be able to escape the pocket, got to be able to pick up some yards with your legs. Something he's not really known for, as good as he is.
Memphis reason to feel a little bit better about the way this game is going now here in the late stages of the third quarter. Able to get off the field on third down. George Georgopoulos is going to come on to punt now for Mississippi State. He gets hit. Yes, there is a marker down as he punts it into the end zone, but Georgopoulos, the grad transfer from UMass, gets hit inside the 40-yard line. Now we'll see whether this is a 5-yard penalty or a 15-yard penalty.
The roughing the kicker variety would give him a first down either way. It looks to me to be of the 5-yard variety type.
That's Warren Peoples, number 7.
Kind of knocked into him by his own guy.
Sophomore defensive end out of Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Running into the kicker. Defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
So they'll repeat the down. Setting just the 5-yard garden variety running into the kicker. And so Georgopoulos will come back out. Kicking game. Kind of a disaster at times for Mississippi State, especially the place kicking. Mike Leach bringing in a couple of punters to battle for that job. We've seen Archer Trafford, now George Georgopoulos. This is a short punt to the right side of the field. He'll drop it at the 15-yard line as Eddie Lewis makes the catch. Well, Monday night, Labor Day evening, second of the Chick-fil-A kickoff games in Atlanta. Number 4 Clemson, Georgia Tech. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. The college football countdown. Remember earlier tonight I was talking about the Clemson defensive front. Well, here are a couple of guys that we singled out.
Yeah,
Breezy and Murphy.
Xavier Thomas, I believe he's injured right now, but yeah, that's a loaded defensive line. Clemson ranked 4th. Preseason rankings, I don't know if they're the 4th team, but I don't know what other team belongs in that spot. So see how they start the season. Getting their offense together is a big part of their success this year.
Mason Martin's going to get punished short of the 20-yard line after that 4-yard reception. Not Brian Greasy, Brian Greasy.
Yeah, Brian Greasy didn't come out of retirement.
No, and I think he's out of eligibility.
Yeah.
This is Eddie Lewis. Again, trying to elevate his production this year. Makes the catch, and again, the open field tackling. And the likes of DeMonte Russell and Jalen Green and the like for Mississippi State. Really good tonight on the edge.
See, we're got Javon Ivory down the bottom. Again, this offense looking for a playmaker. I'd like to see one emerge here.
Can the Tigers convert on 3rd down? Hasn't happened yet tonight. They need the 25. Hannigan rolling to his left. Throws, has a man open. It's caught for a 1st down. Out across the 40-yard line. That catch made by Gabriel Rogers, the senior out of Jackson, Mississippi.
That throw got a little pep in the step of Hannigan. Good job rolling out. Finds Gabe Rogers, who's the speed guy of that wide receiving core.
Go back to the run. And across the 45-yard line, that's Martin. Rogers sent it before from Jackson, Mississippi. The heart's going out to all the people down there right now with the water emergency those folks are having.
Say one thing I haven't seen much out of Memphis tonight is tempo. That was one thing Zach Arnett and the Mississippi State defense was really worried about, just them flying with that tempo. Haven't really seen it.
2nd down and 6. Hannigan steps up. Nice job climbing the pocket, going deep. Looking for his man. He's got Joe Skates. Touchdown. No, he dropped it. Oh, he had it and dropped it. Joe Skates, the speedy transfer from Iowa State, should have had 6.
And I don't even know if his hands got on the ball. It kind of pulled him a little bit more toward the middle of the field. It was just, yeah.
No, he never had it. You're right.
Never had it, yeah.
From up here, it sure looked like he had it in his breadbasket for a moment. And it's been that kind of night for the Memphis Tigers. Seth Hannigan still looking for his 1st touchdown pass of the year. He threw 25 a season ago, and now a penalty marker and a false start.
False start, number 75, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Right guard Matt Dale takes Dylan Parham's spot. Parham now with the Raiders, a 3rd-round pick.
And I think that's why you're not seeing much tempo out of this Memphis offense, because they're all out of sorts. I mean, right there, Mississippi State's defensive line does a little move call where they all 3 move, and it draws Memphis off sides. Shouldn't happen.
Hannigan will tuck it. And he's blown up at the 50-yard line. Jed Johnson, who has been all over the field, number 44, laying the wood at the 50-yard line.
This looked like a good, clean hit.
It's 4th down and short. Memphis will go for it. And I don't think they're going to get it. No. My goodness. 3rd-ranked rush defense in the SEC last year, stands tall, and they'll take over at downs.
And that was a great call by that man right there, Zach Arnett. Let's first get a look at Jet Johnson laying the wood on Hennigan as he starts to scramble. Good clean hit, uses the shoulder, didn't get the head a part of it, knocks him back. And Memphis tries to rush to the line. Look, the defensive line does a stunt to the right. They wrap Bookie Watson around. He's wide open for the tackle for loss. That's a great job.
Guys, Jet Johnson's first start last year was in this game at Memphis. Bookie Watson was banged up, and Jet came off a career performance the week before. He told me this week, since then, the reps he's gotten has put him in a different place, more confidence, less thinking, faster play. We're seeing it tonight.
You're right, Don. He's been exceptional tonight. Making tackles in the open field, setting the tone with some big hits.
You know, and Jaden Crumity, defensive tackle, out tonight. He's got a cast on his arm. You know, you wondered maybe that injury is going to affect the way the defensive line plays. I think they have played well. The linebackers, certainly Johnson, has played well. Not too many areas to poke holes in with that Zach Arnett defense.
I mean, really, the only thing that's gone wrong is that long 50-yard touchdown run by Ducker, where it looked like they just cut a guy out of a gap. But other than that, I agree. They've been flying around, making a lot of plays.
Now, Sincere Evans, senior linebacker for the Tigers, is down. Coastal Carolina transfer in his third year at Memphis. He's able to sit up now. That's good. And he's making his way to the sideline. This is what happened to him.
There's been a little friendly fire. A lot of trash around his legs there. Hopefully he's okay. Grabbing that right knee. Hate to see that.
They picked up 3 starters out of the transfer portal, including middle linebacker Tyler Murray from Charlotte. A lot of new faces on this defense, including the defensive coordinator, Matt Barnes. He just had a tough time tonight slowing Will Rogers and company down. Rogers to the outside, man wide open. Antonio Harmon, his second catch, and they move inside the 30.
That was great there. Will Rogers saw the corner open up, but his hips were turned the wrong way. By the time he flipped them around the right way, the ball was in the receiver's hands.
It's a 13-yard pickup. As you see Rogers' numbers, 313 now through the air.
We talked about the body language of Seth Hennigan not being in the right spot. On the contrary, Will Rogers' body language looks like a guy who's in command, knows the ins and outs of this offense, looks relaxed and poised tonight.
And we will not get another snap before the end of the third quarter. We still have 15 minutes to go, folks. This game kicked off at 6:30 Central Time, but it's been a weather kind of night here in Starkville, so we've still got football to go. Even when it's a quarter of the way full because of those cowbells.
I'll tell you what, some of these maniacs, though, even though there's fewer of them, during the 2-hour rain delay, just randomly, they'd start going with the bell. It's like, wow.
Oh, it's a tough place to play as an opponent. You know, Memphis practiced for 10 days with cowbells in practice. I don't know if they... Yeah. You can't simulate thousands of people doing it.
Yeah, and it just kind of comes up at the oddest times. It's really a cool thing. It's my first experience being in this stadium, calling a game, a night game like this with a lot of energy. It's really cool. I mean, it's cool unless you're an opposing team. That's not fun.
He's Rocky Boyman. I'm Clay Matvick. Don Davenport down on the sideline. 2nd down and 6. There's the 31st completion by Rogers tonight. And Tulu Griffin as Mississippi State knocking on the door again.
This air raid offense just uses every single square inch of the field. I mean, sideline to sideline, vertical, dump off routes, shoot the ball out to the perimeter. Just so many things you got to worry about, so much you have to cover when you're a defense.
You know, one thing that Mike Leach has been very positive. He told Don Davenport this earlier, how well they have finished drives tonight. They'll try to finish another one here. First down and goal to go. Marks in the backfield. He's got a couple of touchdown runs tonight. He's a little sore. That pass nearly intercepted. It's a backwards pass. That ball is live, I believe, and it's picked up. And it's going to be Memphis football. Andrew Jones got a paw on it, and Quindell Johnson, number 15, scoops it up. I believe this is going to be a backwards pass in Memphis
Ruling
football.
on the field is a backward pass recovered by the defense.
That was close. That could have been a forward pass there. It got batted down so early. Call on the field was a backward pass. I don't know if there's enough to overturn it.
Second turnover tonight for Mississippi State.
And it's funny, on the play before on that perimeter shot Will Rogers threw out there, there was a defensive back that was real close to getting
After
the hand
further
on out
review, the
there.
ruling on the field is confirmed. The backward pass recovered by the defense. First down.
It's going to stand.
Yeah, it's a good job.
Andrew Jones, redshirt freshman out of Louisiana. The linebacker tipped it, and how about Quindell Johnson? Said it before, he does it all. His second takeaway. So there have been some defensive highlights for Memphis. Now the offense can get a couple of more bright spots before the end of this game. I think they can feel better going north.
And they've had a couple opportunities. Just, you know, the last couple of drives have had some drops by the wide receivers.
Here's Hennigan on the tunnel screen. Eddie Lewis makes the catch. And he'll get to the 25 and across the 25, close to a first down. Down at the 28-yard line by Javon Banks, the defensive end, number 92.
There's some tempo here.
Jay Ducker in the ball game. Of course, that 50-yard touchdown run earlier in the half. He gets it here, and nothing going this time. But I think it's enough for the first down. Indeed, it is. Talked about the tempo. Just haven't seen much of it tonight for Memphis.
And I think it's just because they have not been able to get anything going. So it's like, hey, let's slow this down and make sure we're on top of things. But that's a major part of their offense that's missing.
Hennigan complete to Ducker. It's his 13th completed pass. He's closing in about 100 yards through the air now.
I like this. They're going to get a couple good plays in a row. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's get up to the line, run another one.
First downs very hard to come by tonight. Eddie Lewis will be cut down close to the 35. Wow. And now third down.
What a great individual effort by Forbes right there at corner.
Emmanuel Forbes, one of the best in the SEC at what he does. 8 interceptions the last 2 years. He almost had a pick 6 against Memphis in last year's game.
He did. There's no Martin Emerson anymore. He's now with the Bears, third-round pick, so Forbes is the guy.
17 of the 22 players on the defensive two deep are in year 3 under our net.
They're going to bring that linebacker. There it comes.
Handoff. Pushing the pile across the 40 is Ducker. The strength of the sophomore out of Bellevue, Nebraska, churning ahead for another first down.
Clay, you mentioned the strength. Ducker just 5'9", 195. Not the biggest guy, but he's powerful.
I think he's earning himself some more playing time. We didn't see him hardly at all in the first half.
No, we didn't. But really, every time he's touched the ball, good things have happened.
Just over 11 minutes to go. Asa Martin in the backfield this time. Hennigan, and that's incomplete. That should have been caught by Markel Jones. It's second time he's dropped one.
Yeah, it's stuff like that that I think has made it hard for Seth Hennigan to get into the groove. And while we've talked about his body language not looking great, I don't think he's been exceptional tonight. But when it looks like they're starting to get something going, he's had an unfortunate drop here and there. Can't really get him comfortable.
Seth Hennigan out of Denton, Texas, has a man wide open. It's Martin, and he hits him in stride. Asa Martin down the sideline, breaks a tackle, gone to the end zone. Did he step out? Yeah, he's going to be marked out just outside the 15-yard line.
In a total breakdown in Mississippi State's defense, looked like somebody, might have been Bookie Watson, should have had the wheel route by the running back out of the backfield, and he didn't go cover him. And that's like stealing right there.
Jalen Green was able to get him along the sideline and bump him out. As you look at Ryan Silverfield, third-year head coach, hoping his team can punch one in. Martin looking for room up the middle. And Cameron Young, the defensive tackle out of Crosby, Mississippi, brings him down.
Good job by Cameron Young playing down that line of scrimmage, making a play.
The rushing yards, 74 tonight for Memphis. You take away that one big play by Ducker of 50 yards, not much on the ground for the Tigers.
Speaking of Ducker, I consider getting him back in the game here tonight. Got Brandon Thomas in the backfield. Showing a blitz up the middle.
Thomas, good job picking up that blitz. A man open in the corner. Touchdown, Tigers. Seth Hennigan with a great block from Brandon Thomas on the blitz, able to hit Eddie Lewis for the 15-yard touchdown.
Best play of the night for Seth Hennigan. They bring the blitz right in his chops. He knows he's going to take a shot, which he did. You're staring down the barrel of that. You know that pressure's coming. Hits him right in the face. You see the receiver get behind Emmanuel Forbes right in that corner of the end zone.
They're going to go for two. Here come the Cowbells. And there's motion.
False start on the 55. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still on the try.
That is the 7th penalty against Memphis tonight.
And that's where you go. As bad as they've played, and you haven't been able to generate much offense and defensively, you start to see the penalties, some of the missed opportunities.
Three receivers to the top, one to the near side. Single setback with Hennigan. Hennigan getting rushed. Throws to the back of the end zone. It is almost intercepted by Emmanuel Forbes. So the two-point attempt fails, and it's 35-16 with 10:13 to go. But Memphis, with one of its best drives of the night, comes away with a touchdown on 9 plays. This game is now 5 hours old and a 2-hour and 15-minute lightning delay in the first quarter. 9 plays, 81 yards, 3:18 off the clock. Eddie Lewis, a 15-yard touchdown reception. First touchdown throw of the year for Seth Hennigan. Memphis, a much better second half. 9 of their 16 points coming off turnovers tonight.
That's the thing, yeah, they got the big turnover by Andrew Jones on that lateral backward pass by Mississippi State. But one thing Mississippi State has done well is time of possession. They need a long clock-chewing drive right here.
ESPN College Football is presented by delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
The U.S. Grant Presidential Library, which opened up in 2017 right here on the campus of Mississippi State. Of course, Grant and the Union Army won a lot of decisive battles.
Yeah.
The Civil War here in the state of Mississippi. It's a 19-point lead for Mississippi State, just close enough where Mike Leach is keeping his starters in there, including Will Rogers, and he gives one to Dylan Johnson here straight ahead as we approach the the 10-minute mark, I should say, of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, there's no pulling starters at this point. 19-point lead, but, you know, as we talked about, time to chew some clock here. Keep their offense on the field.
Rogers was not happy after that last Mississippi State turnover. Giving it away a couple of times tonight. Goes to Johnson. And he's going to be stood up just over the 30-yard line by Greg Rubin. Rogers confident. You might say he's comfortable in his own skin. He said this week that this offense will go as far as I go this year.
And he's right. I mean, he's the signal caller. He's the trigger man in this scheme. So much lies on his shoulders with checking audibles and getting wide receivers and reading the defense. He's one of the best at it.
Son of a coach. His dad Wyatt was his offensive coordinator at Brandon High School just outside of Jackson, Mississippi. 3rd down and 5. So good. Getting it to Rufus Harvey tonight has been Will Rogers. They have really found a connection. Needed a first down. Gets it to Harvey. Johnson makes the stop, but they'll move the chains again.
Huge first down. Again, just found a little space right in the middle of that defense. There's Quindell Johnson, but he's just a little bit too far away to make a play on that ball.
One of the most experienced teams in college football this year, the Mississippi State Bulldogs. 8 starters back on this offense. As Johnson carries, flags come in on the play. Johnson just refusing to go down.
Holding, number 63, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's only the 3rd penalty against the Bulldogs tonight. It's LaQuinston Sharp, who we talked about earlier, coming back for that 6th year.
Yeah, it's huge getting him back. Got the hole on Cameron Jackson there, but he's the bell cow guy of this offensive line. As we can see how much of really a big part of this offense is their run game. He's done a good job tonight.
After the penalty, 1st down and 20. Johnson will check it down again. It's Dylan Johnson. He'll get a chunk of it back and spin out of a tackle and get it all the way back to the 39-yard line. An inspiring catch and run by the junior out of Greenville, Mississippi. It's a 12-yard pickup.
Will Rogers always knows where his check down is. Where's he coming from? Knows where he's going to be. Checking downfield, nothing there. Boom, dump it down. And it's easy to do that when you got running backs like Johnson and Marks. You can break tackles.
Oh, another good move after the catch. Ra-Ra Thomas, a big play. We'll get it to the 31 of Memphis. Thomas had that early touchdown in this game way before the lightning delay, and now a little lightning again here in the 4th quarter.
It's been about 5 hours since he's made a play, right? Big on that opening drive, but it's a great job. Snatch that ball out of the air, make one quick move, boom, hit it. Just shoestring away from breaking a long one.
In the mix to be a huge factor at that X position. I think he's made a case for himself here tonight.
Agreed.
Under 7 minutes to go. 1st down and 10. Mississippi State trying to put the nail in Memphis's coffin after the loss to these Tigers at the Liberty Bowl last year. Woody Marks is going to get the deep handoff. He'll sprint to the outside, and he is chased down from behind. There's another play by Quindell Johnson.
Say who else? I mean, Quindell Johnson is playing center field. He's way back there, and I'm going to come up and play.
104 tackles last year. He's had a boatload of them again tonight.
Good player.
Has an interception, a fumble recovery. Both of those turnovers leading to Memphis points, which have been hard to come by this evening. Deep pass, that's going to be a touchdown. Rufus Harvey right down the hash marks. Fourth touchdown pass for Will Rogers tonight. This one a 33-yard strike. I don't think this flag is going to take points off the board.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 82, offense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. That is number 82's first unsportsmanlike.
That's going to be a celebration penalty on Harvey.
It's a good job by Rogers reading the safety, Rodney Owens. Owens came up a little bit on that play action, and Rogers knew he had him beat. Gets him tucked in right behind him for the touchdown.
Starkville native with his first touchdown catch of the year. Scardy, another extra point, and it's 42-16. And Will Rogers, 36 touchdown passes last year, second most in the SEC. He's well on his way to having another good year with 4 touchdown strikes tonight in the opener. Hasn't been a good night for the Memphis Tigers, and a controversial win. It's safe to say it was controversial. And a win last year at the Liberty Bowl. But it's 42-16. There's 6 minutes to go here in Starkville in 2022. The season opener college football primetime presented by Dr. Pepper. He's Rocky Boyman on play. Mathick, Don Davenport. On a soggy night here. Starkville has been on the sidelines tonight. Gabriel Rogers has been a pretty good return man tonight. Give the Tigers decent field position here for another drive. Time now for the AT&T 5G best moment. Rocky, your best moment from this long game that started several hours ago?
It's got to be Will Rogers. He's been amazing tonight. Hit 11 different receivers. 4 different receivers have touchdowns. There's Caleb Ducking doing the duck thing. Okay.
That's what going.
But no, he's been phenomenal tonight. You're getting a lot of wide receivers in the mix.
Ra Thomas, Caleb Ducking, Jaden Wally, Rufus Harvey, all with touchdown catches. And Jaquavius Marks, call him Woody, he's got a couple of touchdown runs. You can see that James Stewart, not the actor, but the defensive end, limping a little bit toward that Memphis sideline. So, I said it before, Memphis has to regroup. They've got a trip to Navy next week, and they've got to defend the triple option to lick their wounds and get ready for that. Meanwhile, Mississippi State on the road for the next 2. At Arizona next week and at LSU. They're bouncing to the outside and getting into plus territory. Brandon Thomas ran for over 330 yards the first 2 games last year before being plagued by injuries and turnovers.
Timeout, Mississippi State. That's the second charge timeout of the half.
Actually, Mississippi State is going to call this timeout.
Full timeout.
So with 5:45 to go, we've got a break. Step aside. Mississippi State, they've got the second toughest schedule in the country according to ESPN FPI. They're going to face all 6 of the ranked SEC teams this year, including a trip to number 20 Kentucky. They're going to also go to Ole Miss on Thanksgiving Day. Have Georgia out of the East as well. I mean, it's brutal. But Mike Leach knew what he signed up for when he came from Wazoo.
That's right, absolutely. Which is why it was so important to get a win, get this season kicked off the right way here tonight. I think they've performed real well.
Brandon Thomas with that run. Here's Hennigan, airing one out. There's contact. That's going to be pass interference. Gabe Rogers was knocked down by Dylan Lawrence. Backup safety getting some time here in the late minutes.
Holding defense number 24. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And you know that just ticks Zach Garnett off.
Totally.
Getting back to that schedule, you know, go up the road and Ole Miss, it'd be year 3 for Lane Kiffin, coming off first 10-win regular season in team history. Mike Leach still looking for his first Egg Bowl win, and that's a big deal around here.
It is, huge deal. He's only had 2 opportunities, but that's a feather in your cap you've got to have if you want to coach at Mississippi State.
Hennigan got it to his man, but Marcus Banks makes a great play. The Alabama transfer coming in to cut down Javon Ivory.
Yeah, that was great.
Ivory
Flying up, not breaking down.
Just haven't seen much of Ivory tonight. A guy we thought might stand out tonight for this Memphis offense. Hennigan on the hoof. He'll trot out near the 15-yard line. Ivory even wearing Calvin Austin's old number 4, thinking maybe he's going to be the go-to guy this year.
Yeah, haven't seen him much here tonight. Just 2 receptions for 1 yard. Ball a little bit there. That's what this offense needs, playmaker.
Now, this is the end zone Memphis does not want to be going into, as they try to get a consolation touchdown here late. Right up the middle, Jay Ducker. And that's going to be a first down. Really like Jay Ducker.
I do too. That's exactly what Coach said. Just finds a way. Every time you look up, he's getting 4 yards, 5 yards. Just has a real knack of playing that position. Good vision. Ryan Silverfield.
Hennigan sprints out, and he'll get it to the tight end, pre-scoring. It's a very young Memphis team. Going to avoid Cincinnati at league play this year. That's good for them.
Yeah, I think that inexperience hurt them tonight coming into this place early on.
Getting close to the goal line. It's Ducker again. Picked 5th in the American Conference preseason poll. Houston is the favorite just ahead of Cincinnati, and UCF, of course. Those 3 are going to be in the Big 12 next year. Hennigan's going to keep it, and he's got it in for a touchdown. Seth Hennigan. A touchdown run from a yard out. There haven't been many reasons for the Memphis fans who made the trip to cheer here tonight. But Hennigan able to cap an 8-play, 58-yard drive in just under 3 minutes.
And I think that was a confidence booster for this offense. I think at this stage of the game, you're looking to create something positive, get some momentum coming into next week. Didn't really work out how you wanted it to tonight. But try to finish on a positive note, try to get that offense going.
And the former Florida Gator Chris Howard bangs it in on the point after. So we were talking about that Mississippi State schedule. Last year, they were the only team in the country that played 6 teams ranked in the final college football playoff top 25. They won 3 of those games, including Texas A&M and at Auburn. And can they pull off some big wins where maybe they're not expected to again this year to get to 8 or 9 wins?
It's tough, I mean, because there's no let-up anywhere in there. I mean, it's just a gauntlet. I mean, A&M didn't play that great today, but, you know, they're still a good team. Arkansas, Mississippi State has had trouble against Arkansas for a long time, and then you get Georgia, you get Auburn. I mean, there's just no let-up whatsoever. No game to kind of get your breath if you have to, you know, make the final stretch there.
The trip to Arizona will not be easy next week. And then to LSU. And they don't come back home until a game against Bowling Green later this month. See an onside kick coming up here from the Memphis kicking unit. Grant puts it in play, and Mississippi State's going to have it, but a flag comes out. Did that go 10 yards? I don't know that it did. And then Austin Williams recovered it. Of course, it doesn't have to go 10 yards for the defensive team.
Now, and that's the thing. You see this all the time. The receiving team does not have to wait.
Right.
The ones that do, usually bad things happen. Go get that ball. Kicking team has to wait 10 yards.
Legal block, number 8, kicking team. He blocked prior to being able to eligibly touch the ball. That penalty is declined.
Okay.
1st and 10, Mississippi State.
So he touched it before it went 10 yards. That's what it was. Zay Collins on the kicking team. Austin Williams recovers it. And for more on Austin Williams, we go down to Don Davenport, who's got a story about Mr. Williams.
Yes, well, actually, just competitiveness. Mr. Williams and Mr. Rogers, some of the most competitive guys on this team, and that extends to a years-long battle on the ping pong table. Guys, the battles are epic. The scorecard, not fancy. It's a taped-up piece of paper with tally marks, but it does its job. So I asked Austin Williams, who wins the most in ping pong? He said, Will's not going to admit it, but the old head, me, Austin, I'm the guy. He did say Will leads the group in smack talking, though, nonstop, never stops. It all started about 3 years ago with matches in the facility. It got so intense they decided to just replace their kitchen table with a ping pong table. Multi-use, they eat on it, they study on it. You know, it's just a good old college house.
There you go. You're right, Don. College kids
Probably have slept on it from time to time, too.
all kinds of stuff on that table.
I know. I was wondering if there was a ping pong table in that locker room during our hours-long rain delay that maybe they were getting some battles in.
I couldn't believe how many matches they've played. See how many hash marks are on that sheet?
Wow.
Now Memphis calls a timeout here with just over 3 minutes to go. What is going to be a Week 1 win for Will Rogers at Mississippi State. 416 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Did have that early interception, Quindell Johnson, but all in all, a really nice night. Now, he's not going to have 50 completions, at least I don't think so. He's at 36 right now. He had 50 last year against Memphis, an SEC record.
Yeah, but I think the most important part is gets the ball to 11 different wide receivers, 4 different guys have touchdowns. I just think it's important to, when you run this kind of scheme, you know, you want one guy to kind of emerge and be that dude, but you got to have a bunch of guys making plays at the wide receiver position. It's a good start for them here tonight.
You'd think they'd run it to burn some clock, but that's not their MO. Pass it. They're an air raid team, and it's Antonio Harmon with another kick.
And I think that's what Mike Leach would say. Look, we run our offense. If they give us a look that we're supposed to throw the ball, we throw the ball. Give a light box, we should run it. That's what we're going to do.
6th career 400-yard passing game for Will Rogers, by the way. That is tied for 2nd most in the FBS since his debut in 2020. Bailey Zappi, former Western Kentucky star, had 8. Will Rogers, that was 6. Brennan Armstrong of Virginia also had 6 over that span. Simeon Price had a nice play earlier in this game. He's going to get an inside handoff here. And we're going to get another timeout.
Timeout,
Ball by
Memphis.
Memphis.
That's their second charge timeout of the half.
The Tigers are hoping to get the ball back and try and leach some more positive energy out of this game, no pun intended.
The question is, does Will Rogers want to pad the stats here a little bit and go for the end zone one more time? Again, I think it just kind of depends on the look that he gets.
He is closing in on a mark of 440 yards at Ole Miss. than he had a couple of years ago. That's the only college football matchup on the schedule tomorrow night. Florida State, LSU, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern from the Superdome in New Orleans.
I just love to see Florida State get back in. I just think college football is better when they're in the mix. A big blue blood program like that has been down for a couple years. I'd like to see them get back.
Here's Rodgers with all kinds of time right down the middle. With the pass underthrown and incomplete. Rufus Harvey had his hands on it, couldn't haul it in. Third down. And Rodgers only 13 yards away from a career high for passing, 14 to break it. Just impressed with this young man.
Yeah, I was impressed watching him all week, and I've been impressed tonight. Talked about his leadership capabilities, but the guy can sling it.
Mike Leach has always given his quarterbacks a lot of pre-snap discretion. Will Rodgers very good at that. And there he's got a man wide open. It's a touchdown. Touchdown, Justin Robinson, the Georgia transfer. It is his 5th touchdown pass and to 5 different wideouts.
I think Will Rodgers and Mike Leach took exception to Memphis calling a timeout right there and said, you know what, if you're going to do that, we're going to put some more points on the board.
First catch for Robinson as a Mississippi State Bulldog. The former Georgia Bulldog takes it in. He only had 2 catches last year for Georgia. And it's 49-23.
So now 12 different wide receivers have caught passes and 5 different guys have caught touchdowns. It's getting it done.
How about that? If you leave one set of Bulldogs, come to another set of Bulldogs, and immediately get your first touchdown on what is a new career high for Will Rodgers.
And I really think Will Rodgers, you know, he's not the biggest guy in the world, doesn't have the strongest arm. And, you know, people are calling for Sawyer Robinson. I think it really gives him a chip on his shoulder. I think he goes out there and says, look, for some reason, no matter what I do, the numbers I put up, people keep second guessing me. So I'm going to keep proving you wrong. He's done tonight.
So many talented wide receivers, which you need in the air raid, but they've got him here at Mississippi State, and Will Rodgers knows how to find him.
But man, if you're a prep wide receiver at some high school across the country, wouldn't you love to come here and catch passes?
How about that time of possession? 39.5 minutes. They led the SEC last year in time of possession. Over 33 minutes per game. They're 6 minutes better than that here tonight. Fair caught. And 2:05 to go. Tough night for that man, Seth Hennigan, 19 years old. Broke the school's freshman passing record last year. Over 3,300 yards passing, 25 touchdowns. But tonight, it was an off night, especially most of the first half. Things started to come around a little bit for the offensive unit in the second half, but it was too late.
I think there's some things to build on, but just really, really slow getting out of the gate early in this game. And I think a lot of that credit goes to this defense.
So Martin makes that catch. It's to the 31 before Deshaun Page makes a tackle. You see that tempo that we haven't seen enough of tonight for Memphis. That's incomplete. We've seen some drops too. That one from by Markel Jones, and I think that's his 3rd drop pass.
He's not gotten any help from his wide receivers tonight. There's some guys wide open and haven't been able to come up with a catch.
Joe Skates was pretty close to a big touchdown play that he couldn't get under. has a good run to the 45-yard line for Asa Martin. And then the ball pops out, and it looks like Mississippi State has it, do they? Yes, they do. That's a
Rolling on the field.
Memphis turnover. Sean Preston on the recovery.
Let's get a look at it here. See if he was down. That ball's out.
Jordan Davis, the defensive end, knocked it loose.
What a great job by Jordan Davis. The guy who missed all last year. Love to see those defensive linemen turning back around and running downfield, never giving up on a play.
Jordan Davis, a Memphis native, too. You know that's a big play for him. You talked about his injury last year. Finally back to full strength. And now we're going to see the backup quarterback, Sawyer Robertson, coming in here for the Bulldogs. Big four-star recruit out of Lubbock, Texas. Grew up watching Mike Leach lead the Red Raiders back in the day. A lot of the fans around here are excited about this young man. They're going to want to see him throw it. He's got a big arm. Simeon Price gets another touch, but making his college debut here tonight, number 12, 6'4", 215 pounds.
Yeah, good-looking kid. You know, checks all the boxes, as you mentioned, four-star. Tough. Will Rogers is not going to be a guy that's just going to roll over and let him take the job.
Now, they battled in camp. Mike Leach told him, hey, you've got a chance to win this job. And he gave it his best. But Will Rogers, of course, coming away as quarterback 1A.
Well, that's what I said. I think that just Will Rogers has that chip on his shoulder. It's like no one ever, everyone's always giving the benefit of the doubt to the other guy, and he keeps answering the bell.
Sawyer Robertson, cousin of former Auburn quarterback Jarrett Stidham, is now with the Raiders. I mean, Robertson could have an impact at some point this season. Mike Leach hopes not, because Will Rogers is the man, especially after tonight. What a night. 450 yards passing, a new career high for Rogers. 5 touchdowns, did throw the 1 interception. But boy, he and the air raid looked sharp in week 1, despite a long weather delay. That didn't affect them. They came right back after the timeout and hit the ground running.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because, yeah, sometimes a 2-hour and 15-minute delay, you kind of get out of sync. They picked up right where they left off, and minus a few little things here and there, that offense absolutely rolled tonight.
Mississippi State 49, Memphis 23 as the Bulldogs avenge last year's disappointing loss. Rocky Boyman and Don Davenport and our entire ESPN crew on Clay Matvick. We're now going to send you to the Dukes Mayo Classic. North Carolina A&T against NC Central. So long from Starkville.